see, that's my tie knot.
All right, everybody, good evening to you. So glad that you could join us here on this wonderful Thursday evening. I'm Savannah Louie with Atlanta News First. We are here at the First Alert Desk. If you're joining us tonight, feel free to drop a comment in Facebook or on YouTube, wherever you're watching and joining us from. It's always good to see and hear from all of you. Now, we are going to go through our top 5 stories that are happening right now in the metro Atlanta area. All these are pretty hyper-local tonight, so I'm really excited to share them with you. And we're going to actually begin with a story that we've been following now for several weeks. The story first taking roots a couple of months ago, and I'm going to go ahead and throw up an image here. You might recognize this person. This is Manuel Tehran. Now, Manuel Tehran was a former activist. He was killed by state troopers at the future Atlanta Public Safety Training Center, also known as Cop City, by protesters, people who are not in support of the center. Well, the reason why we're talking about this again is because a new report revealed Tehran had 57 gunshot wounds in an autopsy just released. Now, according to this autopsy, it was done by the DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office. We're learning that there were only 14 projectiles or fragments recovered from Tehran's body, and this is very interesting because the state stands by their assessment that Tehran shot at them first. Now, we have had an entire team of reporters taking a very close look at this autopsy and at this story since it first broke months ago. From here, I'm going to let our reporter, Patrick Quinn, take it and explain exactly what is going on in that autopsy, again, just released yesterday evening.
A diagram from the newly released DeKalb County autopsy showing 57 gunshot wounds to activist Manuel Tehran.
It says that it was a gruesome and painful death.
Jeff Filipowicz, the attorney representing Tehran's family, said this latest report amplifies their grief.
They're devastated by the loss of their child. They're confused by the reaction of law enforcement and the limited information that's been provided to them.
The state has stood by their assessment that Tehran shot first. Here's GBI Director Michael Register on January 18th, roughly 2 hours after Tehran's time of death.
Someone on the property, as law enforcement came into view, initiated fire on the law enforcement entities, and they returned fire in self-defense.
In the latest autopsy, state officials found Tehran did not have gunpowder on their hands. I asked Filipowicz about this development.
The fact that there was no gunshot residue, as much as I would love to stand here and say that's indicative that Manuel did not have a gun or did not fire a gun, that's just not what the science is.
Atlanta City Council member Liliana Bakhtiari said the Department of Justice needs to investigate.
Because GBI should not be leading this investigation. GBI has no place as being part of this investigation. They led this multi-jurisdictional sweep, and they are complicit in the homicide.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation officially wrapped up their probe into this shooting on Friday. It's now in the hands of the District Attorney of Habersham County, George Christian. I called him up on what's next.
A jury could be used, is not required. I don't know what going forward, what will happen, but I've got to look at what evidence is in the GBI reports and before I make any kind of decision.
And again, that was our Patrick Quinn reporting. He has been on top of this story from the very beginning. And as for where we go from here, we're still waiting for more answers to hear back from the family. And as we continue to learn more about Tehran's death and the circumstances surrounding it, we're going to continue to keep you up to date with the very, very latest. All right, let's move on now. I want to move on to a story. This is out of Spalding County, and it should bring some people some major relief tonight. Let's see here. There's a major crackdown on gangs in Spalding County. A lot of these gangs targeting children as their newest members. That's according to authorities in Spalding County today. Now, dozens of accused gang members are locked up after a major crackdown, a new indictment just announced. But authorities say they are still sniffing out organized crime. Authorities say gang members will really stop at nothing to recruit your kids who are getting younger and younger. And the way that they're getting these kids on board is by using things like the promise of firearms to sort of entice them and get them on board. Now, state and local law enforcement and prosecutors announcing 2 crackdowns based off of Operation Crack the Ice and Operation Blood Clot. In all, more than 100 people are indicted, facing a range of gang and drug-related charges, more than 60 already in custody. Now, this gang activity is to blame for a lot of the violence that we've seen in Spalding so far this year, including the death of this little girl on your screen here, 11-year-old Asia Jones. You might remember we told you about her several times over the last couple months. She was shot and killed by a stray bullet while she was in her bed. Very upsetting here. Now, we also know that according to state officials, the state is working on a bill to provide mandatory minimums for adults who recruit children into gangs. 10 to 15 years for the first offense, and 15 to 25 for the very second. Right now, the sheriff of Spalding County is warning gang members to get out while they can, also urging parents to be involved with their children. And his team is taking on that challenge of getting these gang members who are recruiting kids off the streets. A lot of efforts here, a lot of different efforts from a lot of different entities, though, in Spalding County. That's what we're seeing right now. That's the very latest. I want to bring you to another story you may have caught if you were on our website earlier today. This one caught a lot of parents off guard. A lot of really concerned parents here after a drink, a soda, at a middle school was found laced with drugs. Kids exposed to dangerous drugs inside their very own school, where you trust them to be safe. Tonight, several middle schoolers got sick after sipping on that spiked soda. It happened at Shiloh Middle School in Snellville in Gwinnett County. That's about 30 minutes northeast of Atlanta. A principal sent a letter to the families today, and it explains that a student encouraged several classmates to drink a soda that was tainted with drug-infused candy. We're told these students got sick. They needed medical attention. The principal says the student responsible will face maximum disciplinary action, and kids are being asked to check on their kids' belongings and understand the consequences of bringing drugs on campus. Very serious story there, and definitely a lot of parents very concerned upon receiving that letter from parents. That is the last thing you want to hear when your kids go to school or when you're picking them up from school. All right, we're moving right along here. This is a huge story that has drama after drama after drama. We're talking about the YSL, the Young Slime Life gang trial underway right now. They're going through jury selection right now. Well, the latest development doesn't really have to do with the jury as much as it does one of the attorneys who's involved in the case. We know that today, earlier, an attorney involved in the trial, which includes rapper Young Thug, was arrested this morning as he was arriving for another long day of jury selection. According to the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, Anastasio Manedas was arrested on charges of simple battery on law enforcement officers and possession of pills not in an original container, obstruction and disruption of court proceedings. The attorney who was arrested represents Miles Farley, who was one of several defendants in the trial. And the arrest comes less than 24 hours after a Fulton County courtroom was evacuated after one of the defendants in the trial was removed from a holding cell after he began screaming. Seems like there is just incident after incident. If you've been following this case, and this is expected to be the longest, or if not the longest, one of the longest court proceedings in our state's history. Really interesting to see this one unfold. I think the question now a lot of people have is, what comes next, right? Jury selection, again, is underway. All right, moving right along. Final story I have for you tonight. I had to end things on a good note here. And this is a really sweet story. We know that our kids can often feel stressed at school. Well, keeping kids calm and safe while in school is a very tough task. I was hoping to show a picture of how they're doing this here, or a video, but it looks like we've just got this guy talking. I'll wait and see if we can pull up the dogs involved. There's a spoiler alert. Oh, there he is. There you go. One Metro Atlanta district just got help keeping kids happy. This is Barney, the newest Marietta City Schools employee, and he is a trained crisis canine. He roams the hallways at Park Street Elementary School along with a school resource officer, and he is trained to respond to a person's emotional needs and act accordingly. Look how cute he is, chasing that little ball. So far, Barney has done just about everything from helping kids get to class to winding down a temper tantrum. How sweet is he? Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful Thursday evening here on April 20th. It is always a pleasure to see you and to serve you. From here, I'm going to leave you with a wonderful picture of our beautiful Metro Atlanta skyline. And let me see if I can make sure that everything's all set up for our fantastic meteorologist, Fred Campagna. Fred, what max are you on? 2?
I'm on max 1.
Max 1?
I can set
Talking
it up.
about the pollen?
Yeah,
Is that your graphic?
I'll be good.
All right.
I'll make sure.
Everybody, we're bringing in meteorologist Fred Campagna now, and if you're watching, I want you to say a very happy birthday to Fred. It's his 30th birthday today, the big 3-0. Happy birthday, Fred.
Well, thank you, Savannah, for that. Yes, it is my birthday. 33, actually, not 30, but close enough. All right, let me get situated here before I get pop my camera up. But thanks for hanging out. Let me just make sure that I'm on the right stuff here. Cool. I think we're good. With that, yeah. All right, yeah. Well, happy 420, I guess. I don't know why that gets a laugh out of everybody. Yeah, my birthday, Rodney Harris's birthday, Killer Mike's birthday. So a bunch of us celebrating on this 420. Hope you've had a great day. It has been a beautiful day. It has been great weather for us so far this week. And we have some changes coming our way over the weekend. So let's talk about that. Talk about this pollen too. Let me bring up our weather maps here just to show you the pollen count for today. Look how beautiful it is. We had an air quality alert the last couple of days, code orange air quality. So if you were real sensitive, maybe, if you have some health concerns, some breathing issues, or maybe some heart or lung problems. You felt that a little bit over the last couple of days. Part of the reason for the air quality issues is because the air has been pretty stagnant. So it's kind of a double-edged sword because, it's the reason why the weather's been so nice, but it's also a situation without seeing the weather systems move that much that we get the same air over and over. You may have noticed there's a bunch of cars on the roads around here, and, we live in a pretty urban area around the metro. And because of that, the air quality generally decreases over time when the air is stagnant like it has been. And the pollen count, second highest that we've seen so far this spring for us today. So that's not such great news. But there's some rain that is coming our way at the start of the weekend. Hopefully that'll help to get rid of some of the pollen. It's nice and warm out there this evening. Here we are around sunset, and it's 79 degrees in Atlanta and in Rome, and 75 for Covington and Athens. So just beautiful. Let's go big picture here, and you can see the system off to our west. Looks like a couple of tornado warnings in Texas and some severe thunderstorm warnings and watches as you go farther to the north. So this is a system that has a history of producing severe weather. It did yesterday a little farther to the west, and it is again late this afternoon into this evening as you go off to our west. It will weaken some, though, as it gets closer to us. So for the rest of tonight, temperatures are going to settle back through the 60s, 55 to 60 to start the day tomorrow. So milder than what we've seen lately for those morning low temperatures. Some sunshine early in the day, but clouds will tend to rule by later on in the day. It doesn't matter. We're still going to see the temperature get up to around 80 degrees. Not as warm as it was today or yesterday, but still, for this time of the year, we'll take it. 78 Canton, 81 Atlanta at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, 80 for Athens, 79 for Covington. The wind out of the south, about 10 to 15 miles per hour, occasionally gusting higher than that. If you have plans to go out tomorrow evening, you may run into a stray shower or storm. There's a better chance, though, of seeing some rain around here early Saturday. Between about 4 and 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday is the best chance for rain. Can't completely rule out a shower 9, 10, 11 o'clock, especially north of Atlanta, but I think there's a better chance that it'll be dry and it'll be turning breezy. It will be turning cooler for us over the weekend. High temperatures both Saturday and Sunday are going going to be in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Some upper 60s as you go into the mountains and north and east of Atlanta. Low 70s for Atlanta, for Athens, for Griffin. 70 for Covington. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies. Breeze will be a little bit lighter for us on Sunday. It is going to be kind of gusty on Saturday afternoon, at times gusting 25 miles an hour. On Sunday, look for partly to mostly sunny skies and high temperatures ranging from the mid-60s north of Atlanta to the low 70s from Atlanta down to the south. Maybe even some mid-70s around Thomaston. Looking ahead, middle to end of next week is looking unsettled for us. We're probably going to have some rain to deal with at times. Right now, it looks like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday time frame is what we're watching for. So we've been dry this week. Few showers coming our way. Not a lot of rain expected with this front coming through early Saturday, and then dry for a few more days before it may get unsettled for us into the middle and end of next work week. So I'll leave that 7-day forecast up there. Take a little peek here. Max and Michael, thank you both for the birthday wishes. It's been a good day. It's always a great day here at Atlanta News First, regardless of if it's your birthday, right? So thank you for that. Been a beautiful stretch of weather. I hope you all have a great night. Great evening. Hawks are in town this weekend taking on the Celtics. We'll see how that goes Friday night and Sunday. Braves are back in town as well. Nice weather probably for tomorrow evening's game. Very low chance of a shower or storm by the end of that game. On Saturday and Sunday, it'll be cooler at the ballpark Saturday night. A little breeze out there. Temperatures falling through the 60s into the 50s by late in the evening. And Sunday is a day game. It'll be pleasant. It'll be mostly sunny. Temperatures will eventually get to near 70, even though that's not very warm. If you're going to the game, you should grab the sunscreen or a hat, because even though it won't be warm, if it's sunny enough and you're in a sunny spot in the stadium, you can get a sunburn pretty quickly at this time of the year. All right, so have a great evening, and we'll catch up with you again real soon. Take it easy.